Hey, how's it going everyone? OutlawClient here, back once again this week with another Dragon Ball FighterZ video. Now in this week's video I wanted to talk a bit about the DLC characters and the update on their status, Vegito and Fused Zamasu. And again, I should stress I do want this to be a quick video. I mean, last time I said that it was going to be quick and then it ended up being, going from 5 minutes to nearly 20 minutes. So, I mean, guys, I don't know what happened. It was the DLC hype, it hooked me, it just wouldn't let go and I had to talk for nearly 20 minutes. Well, anyway, recording time aside, this week I wanted to talk about the release date, because that was a huge question that I kept on getting last time. And guys, mark the date on your calendar, because the 31st of May is the date that Vegito and Fused Zamasu will be hitting our consoles, our PCs and so on. So just prepare yourselves for that online Spirit Sword spam. It's coming, guys. But jokes aside, yeah, 31st of May, so at the time of this recording I believe it's like less than a week away, so yeah, we'll definitely be seeing some new stuff on these characters soon. In addition to this, there's also a live stream. I believe it's going to be featuring some prominent fighting game community players, so I believe that's on the 29th of May. I don't know the exact time yet, but 29th of May that's happening, so you might want to mark that date down on your calendar as well. So in my previous video I spoke a bit about Vegito and his moveset. I tried to analyze the trailer, the very short trailer, as much as I could, but of course since the clips were so short I just couldn't see everything his moves had to offer. I mean, I say that it showed not all of it, but the majority of his moveset off. But again, since the clips were so short I couldn't fully analyze the status, of certain moves, like whether it caused a hard knockdown or a sliding soft knockdown, or so on and so on. But luckily there has been a 10-minute video released by Bandai Namco, which I believe they invited some top professional fighting game players to mess around with Vegito, and during that 10 minutes we saw quite a few things, or quite a few properties of all of his different moves. So first up I spoke a bit about the Spirit Sword, and of course I didn't know too much about it. Watching a bit more of it, it shows that the Spirit Sword not only has great range, but you can use it individually. Like, you can just use it on its own without being mid combo or anything like that. Now at first I thought it was like a crouching heavy move, due to its decent range and sort of knocking, sort of hitting upwards. It looks similar, but upon closer inspection I think it's probably most probably his like special attack, or maybe crouching special, because it just, I mean there's no way of 100% telling, but for me it just feels like instinctively he had like a kick attack which kicked upwards, and that sort of looked like a crouching heavy move. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that being like a key blast type move, but maybe in the crouching position, or even just a quarter circle forward motion, aka like the fireball motion. In other words, the 236 plus special. Now next up, not only that, but we also found that the Spirit Sword can be used in the air, and it looks like it hits at a really shallow angle. It's quite close in front of you, and so your opponent has to be quite close to you. But when this Spirit Sword hits the opponent, well, both on the ground and in air, you'll be able to like flick the opponent up and then follow up with a super dash. Again, it looks like you'll be able to get a decent combo off of it, maybe a super as well, that instant transmission super, which again I talked about previously. It looks like it's air exclusive level 1 super, but again it tracks the opponent, so really looks like it has really good combo potential, or as I said in the previous video, a nice finisher to your combos. But again, the Spirit Sword itself looks like it has such great range as well on the ground, like covers a decent amount of the screen, maybe not quite half, but close to half of the screen. And oh, and by the way, I'm gonna have the video in the description so you guys can watch all of it if you want. But again, the Spirit Sword looks like it will have a lot of utility when it comes to comboing, following up with combos and so on. Now his other move as well that we saw in the previous video was the final Kamehameha. Well, actually, before I go into the super, let's talk about his air dash grab, the command grab. Now the thing about the command grab which made it so useful, or what I think makes it look very useful in the trailer, is the fact that, the 10 minutes gameplay, is the fact that you can actually follow up with attacks on the way down, unlike Android 16's one. So not only can you follow up with attacks, but you can also go with a forward dash or a back dash. So again, it looks like it has a lot more versatility, a lot more options after the whiffed command grab. So can really mix up the opponent, especially if you use it with in conjunction with like some assists and stuff. So you can come up with some really nasty mix-ups and maybe cross-ups as well. Now well, I believe it caused a sliding knockdown as well. Actually, we did see that in the trailer, so you know, there's not too much else to talk about it. But yeah, it looks like it's really helpful, really useful with that versatility after, like being able to dash forward and attacks and so on. Something you can really use to trick the opponent. Now, I don't want to dwell on that for too long. So next up, I want to go on to Vegeta's final Kamehameha. Now, his final Kamehameha, you can now see that it's usable not only on the ground but also in the air. Now, the thing about if it's used in the air is that it won't cause a hard knockdown, so it's more of a softer, like a soft knockdown. And I believe you might even be able to air recover after that. So again, not absolutely amazing in the air, but I mean, it will allow you to get a really huge chunk of damage off in the air. So again, really cool. Okay, so next up I want to talk a bit about some of the newer things that we saw of Vegito in this 10-minute trailer, and one of those being his assist. Now, at first when I saw the assist, I thought, oh, you know, it's nothing special, it doesn't look too good. I mean, he jumps up sort of like Vegeta and Cell in their assist, and he throws, instead of like a barrage of projectiles or a blast like Cell, he instead throws five projectiles that are angled down towards the enemy. Now, the thing is that it looks really quick, so I think this would be a really good assist against, like, I guess beating out other assists, so it could be like a counter assist type thing. And not only that, but the range that it covers, you know, it's sort of like a spread, so I can imagine that it would stop opponents trying to jump in as well. So again, not overpowered, not going to be Vegeta god tier assist, but I think that it will definitely see some use, and it will be great for some helping out some teams, like especially Zamasu as well, like fused Zamasu keeping opponents out. I can definitely see that being handy. Also, it doesn't have too much hit stun, but possibly it will allow you to extend combos in the corner. So again, I don't know too much about it now, but on May the 31st, I'll be labbing it, mate. So next up, we got a look at what seems to be his standard ki blast. Now, this appears to be like a blue circular explosion, and the fact that the distance can also be adjusted means that it will be quite a useful move for keeping out opponents. Now, from what we saw in the 10 minutes gameplay, you could adjust it going like really close range, like just in front of Vegito, or a bit longer range, so about mid-screen. Now, I'm not too sure whether it will be long range as well. I don't see why it wouldn't be long range, but there was no evidence that showed that it is 100% allowed to do that. Now, I don't really know where this move came from. I thought maybe it might be a homage to when he destroyed Super Boo's antenna, you know, when he threw it back to him and he trolled him by exploding it, like blowing it up mid-air while it was about to get to him. But yeah, I don't know, it looks slightly different. It's like a different design, but you know, who knows. I just want to blow stuff up with Vegeta. And lastly, we also see that Vegito has access to a counter move. Now, I don't believe any other characters in the game have a counter move. I could be wrong on that one, but I haven't seen any other counters from any other characters, so it looks like he's going to be one of the first characters to have a true counter, as he flashes blue and then he finishes off with a dunk attack. Now, the thing is that the dunk attack is shown to have decent follow-ups as well. Like, you can use Vegito's Spirit Excalibur to follow up with a level 1 super, but who knows, there might be possibly some more follow-ups, so that's another thing that I think would be really interesting in helping maximize the most out of, or get the most out of his gameplay. And finally, jumping back over to the Japanese trailer, we get a glimpse at some of Vegito's extra features, much like fused Zamasu. And as you can see, there's a single stamp, and I believe that stamp is his expression after witnessing Zamasu crying. Or maybe it was after he saw Cell's recent patch notes. I don't know. Either way, we're going to get a single new stamp. Then we have his chibified look, aka his lobby avatar. That's also only one colour available. I'm guessing that you'll have to unlock the colours, much like Bardock and Broly's colours. And finally, we get to see all of his costumes, alongside another special reference for his second costume, much like every other character in the game. Now, if you guys have been keeping up with some of my previous videos, you know that I like to preach the, one of the most important aspects of a fighting game, and I like to call it the 4 C's. That's right, guys, the costume color coordination code, and if you ain't got no coordination, you ain't got no win. It's just how it goes, guys. So with that said, let's give these costumes a quick look. So first up, we have the standard, you know, the OG Vegito, the blue with the orange inner part. I mean, of course, that's just standard Goku and Vegeta colors, costume colors, so can't really say too much. It's a nice color scheme, the one that we all know and love from Vegito. And it would look pretty cool as well if he had some gold hair. I think the gold hair matches a bit more, but anyway, I digress. It's still a pretty good costume all around. So next up we have the special character reference, and it sort of surprised me because this is actually a reference, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have already guessed, but this is a reference to Goku Black. So he pretty much has the color scheme of a clone of a clone. So yeah, not too bad. I think the black gloves look a bit strange, but I'm sort of starting to get used to them. It looks pretty nice, a decent color scheme. But to be honest, you know, if they were going with character references, the Easter egg that I would have preferred is definitely like Super Boo with Gohan absorbed. You know, maybe they could have like kept his gloves black and then given like the yellow outline to represent Buhan's gloves, and then of course have the inverted main colors, so orange on the outside and then blue on the inside, just like Super Boo, and maybe even throw in some white trousers or pants for you American viewers. But I don't know, I would have loved that, but still, like I said, the color scheme is sort of grown on me, so it's not too much of a disappointment. Now next up we have the red. Look at that, the wine red, aka the Super Saiyan God Red. I mean, I really love this costume. This is probably my favorite looking, apart from the OG Vegito costume, but yeah, this one, I really like this color. Next up we have the Sky Blue Vegito. Not too bad. It's slightly lighter than his hair, but I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of this one. Maybe if it was the golden hair Vegito, maybe it would make me you know, feel a bit different, but who knows. Next up, next costume. So finally we finish off with Vegito Blue's gold gi, and I have to admit, gold is old, so I'm sorry gold, it's just, you're not cutting it. You don't quite beat out those first three color schemes. But anyway, what do you guys think? Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but I mean, that's just my opinion of these costumes. So again, what do you guys think of these different costumes? Tell me what is your favorite one, and tell me definitely why it's the red gi. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. I definitely appreciate a like if you enjoyed watching this video, and also be sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you'd like to be notified of any of my upcoming videos. So that'll be a fighting game / other gaming content as well. I like to mix things up. Anyway, until next time, guys, peace out.